A day like today proves he can do it. So I think that's a positive. Now you just got to be more consistent. You got to do it day in and day out, and that's the hard part.
Let's get right into it. First things first, John. How are you feeling?
Doing well. Big day for the offense. Finally break through a little bit, start looking a little bit better. Big day for Jalen Hurts. Really hot from kind of started feeling it in one-on-one drills between the receivers and defensive backs, was making a lot of nice throws, and that carried over into teamwork, which was more important. So, everybody was hot at the NovaCare complex today because it was, 92 degrees or whatever, but nobody was hotter than Jalen Hurts. He really performed well, and it was a very, very positive development tone because it was not good for the first four open practices. So, little sigh of relief, at least for the short term.
Oh yeah, most definitely. It's interesting because today was the first day of full pads. Am I correct?
Yes, full
Full,
pads, 92 degrees, 90 plus minutes, longest practice as well, a little bit over an hour and a half. So, um, yeah, I thought the offense would start to look a little bit better once the pads came on because of the offensive line, but hey, maybe Jalen Hurts needed the pads.
well, it's interesting because that kind of lends to your point, right? That he's not a practice guy. He needs the full fledged vibe of a game. He needs the pads. He needs the momentum. He needs all the energy that comes from live action, right? And uh, it's interesting. I really want to pick your brain about what you said about Jalen Hurts. You said today was well. Let's just be honest. You said no one was hotter than Jalen Hurts, right? We know it was 92 degrees, but he must have been 100 degrees. So, can you expand on that? What was working for him today?
You know, like a street shooter in basketball, sometimes you got it. Shooters, sometimes they have it one day, they don't have it the next. And the great ones like Steph Curry have it very, very consistently. And that's what you're looking for with Jalen Hurts, is more consistency. But, um, a day like today proves he can do it. So I think that's a positive. Now you just got to be more consistent. You got to do it day in and day out, and that's the hard part. But you know, number of nice deep throws. I mean, this team had trouble completing a pass over 10 yards for three consecutive practices, and all of a sudden they come out today and they're throwing the ball down the field and being successful. So it was an interesting 180 from the offense's perspective.
See, that intrigues me because this offense, for the most part, has been together. All last year. There aren't really too many new pieces, except for AJ Brown. There's no way just adding one piece like AJ Brown should rock the boat that much.
No, yeah, chemistry. Um, it takes a little bit time, a little bit of time for the offense. The defense. If you think about just the nature of this game as a reactionary position. So it's a little bit easier for the defense because they're reacting to what they're seeing from the offense. And, sometimes for a cornerback, for instance, it's as simple as, covering the guy in front of you. It's not a particular zone play. So, um, offense is a little bit more complicated, a little bit more nuanced, a little bit more room for error. Um, so there's a lot. If you look around and read about some of the other training camps, you'll see some similar stories about offenses struggling and trying to ramp it up and trying to get things going. So Um, the fact that the Eagles were able to do so, and by the way, the defense wasn't bad. You know,
Hmm.
the play of the day was a deep ball to Jalen Rager, and you know the second team defense was on the field, and it was Zach McPherson. Um, he was right there in coverage, but it was just a great throw, a great catch. And I know, yeah, people are going to get upset. It's not my fault. Jalen Rager had a great catch. Um, got some first team reps because Quez Watkins had to leave with an illness, and he made the most of them. So, you know, Zach Pascal remains out with his illness. So Jalen Rager got some reps with the first team, and he performed well with them. Um, and you know, the corners who I've been talking about, um, it was, you know, bang, 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 3 consecutive reps in those one-on-ones. It was a deep shot to Devontae Smith, who beat James Bradbury. Um, and Bradbury was right there. Just a perfect throw, a good route, had about a yard of separation, made the catch. It was Quez Watkins before he left on Avonte Maddox, just kind of shook him in the slot. Good throw. And then it was the best throw was A.J. Brown against Darius Slay. He just, Jalen Hurts just put it in the bucket, man. It was one of those throws that was perfect. It was A.J. Brown was getting it, nobody else was getting it. And that was 3 consecutive reps. And you said to yourself, wow, you know, this is different. Um, and then it carried over in the team drill. So, you know, the streak shooter was hot today. It's basically how you would describe it.
You know, you mentioned Jalen hitting on a bunch of deep balls today, but I'm even more curious about the other throws that he had to make, right? And a guy like Jalen Hurts, I got to be honest, me personally, I don't think we've ever seen Jalen Hurts get hot in a football game from a throwing perspective. I just don't think we've seen that. I mean, if we have, correct me if I'm wrong, but what specifically, I know you said the deep ball, but what were some of your favorite throws by Jalen Hurts today? I know you said the drop in the bucket to AJ Brown and Jalen Rager, but were there any intermediate or short throws that required a little bit more precision?
Yeah, a couple times for the second straight day, hit AJ Brown in stride over the middle. So that enables AJ to get those yak yards after the catch. Very powerful, obviously, runner. So that has been a positive. Um, the offense is way too heavy. AJ Brown, Dallas Goddard. I started to talk about that. Other people are picking up on it. Um, Not that they're bad players; they're very good players. But to the point where you have Devontae Smith, and you say, "Well, when is Devontae getting the football?" I mean,
I was going to
Devontae's
ask
not.
you about that.
Yeah, he's not getting the football, and that's a concern. But that's more of a coaching concern than anything else. They got to work other people into this game planning. Right now, it's not game planning, but sort of practice plan, um, and get more people involved. Um, so that's a bit of an issue. But you're right. I mean, the Eagles have Jalen Hurts is not the type of quarterback that's going to throw for 400 yards. Can he do it? Probably not in a live, uh, um, in an actual football game. But when you see him make throws like he made today, it gives you a little bit more confidence that
It's encouraging.
when coupled with the other stuff he does well, the +1 in the running game, it can make a big difference.
I want to touch on Jalen Rager